Hello, Rob here, and coming up on R&B Reviews, Tom Hanks heads an all-star cast in the anticipated film Cloud Atlas from the makers of the Matrix movies.
This is the Cloud Atlas sextet?
I doubt there's more than a handful of copies in all of North America.
But I know it. I know it.
That's it. The music from my dream.
There are whole movements I wrote imagining us meeting again and again in different lives, in different ages.
I can't explain it, but I knew when I opened that door,
A powerful deja vu ran through my bones. I had it in a dream. It was in a nightmarish cafe. And the waitresses, they all had the same face.
No reason to hide. I know you are Sunny 451.
And those are scenes from Cloud Atlas. This movie came from the Wachowskis that made the Matrix movies, as well as Tom Tykwer, who made Run Lola Run and The International. It's really kind of hard to describe Cloud Atlas, not only because it's a complex film tying different storylines together, but I also think it's one of those movies where it's probably better going into knowing as little as possible. But on top of that, after seeing the movie a few times, I'm still, dissecting the film. But basically what I can say about the movie is that the cast includes Tom Hanks and Halle Berry and several others. They play different characters in multiple storylines that suggest that what is done in a different time period kind of ripples through later periods. In a way, with all the actors playing different parts in all these storylines, it reminded me of the old repertory theater companies where the same actors would play different shows and they would take turns playing different types of parts. Like for example, take Tom Hanks. In a couple stories, he plays the hero. In another story, he might play the villain. And then in another story, he's there just as a supporting character. And I think that, and of course, all these characters, they play, different time periods. They play characters with different ethnic backgrounds and even gender. And I thought that they all brought some very good diversity to it.
yesterday, my life was headed in one direction. Today, it is headed in another. You ever think the universe was against you? Fear, belief, love, phenomena that determine the course of our lives. These forces begin long before we are born and continue after we die.
I thought it was a very interesting, challenging, and visually stunning film with some very strong symbolism, and it's one of the few films that's a drama and a science fiction film, a comedy, and apocalyptic thriller all wrapped in one. Personally, what I took away from this movie is that people will break the rules and act against what is acceptable in society for many reasons. They'll do it for justice or love or perhaps a better way of life, but I expect different people will interpret the film differently. When I left the theater, there was this couple sitting diagonal from me that were arguing, as the movie was ending, they were arguing what the movie was about. It does take used to, having the film switch from storyline from one time period to another, but I expect some audiences may not understand the film right away, including what some of the visual metaphor means, or they probably will find the film to be a little bit too disjointed. But I've been thinking about this movie since I left the theater. It hasn't really left my head. I'm still thinking about the movie. Cloud Atlas, it can drag here and there, and it can be hard to keep up with, and sometimes the makeup is both great in some stories and kind of amateurish in another, but I think if you're looking for a challenging, smart film, I think Cloud Atlas is worth checking out with someone, and you guys can have a nice conversation after you leave the theater, and hopefully you can do this without screaming, having a screaming match with one another. So I'm going to give Cloud Atlas a see it in theaters rating. And go ahead and tell me what you thought of the movie. What did you like about Cloud Atlas? What did you hate about it? Do you think it's a pretentious, self-righteous sort of movie, or do you think it is a smart, challenging movie like myself? I do read everything everybody posts, and I greatly appreciate you watching the video. So thank you very much for watching.